What's going on YouTube? So every brand has a product that sets atop its lineup, and for luxury brands like Mercedes and BMW, where the entire lineup is already nice, their flagship vehicles are really something special. And that's the comparison today. Both brands' flagship sedans that set the benchmark for all their other products. The all-new Mercedes S-Class and the BMW 7 Series. This is the ultimate smackdown between the ultimate expressions of luxury. So, without wasting any time, let's go ahead and get started. Now, even though money probably isn't much of a consideration for those shopping in this segment, we will start off the video by breaking down the pricing of these two quickly. Beginning with the 7 Series, we have the 750i with xDrive all-wheel drive and a handful of options, for a total price of $114,116. Now for the S-Class, it always costs quite a bit more than the rivals, and that trend continues for the new generation. We have a more basic S500 today, but even still, the total price after options and destination is $117,535. This does place a $3,369 price difference between the two, which honestly does not matter at all for this price point. But getting started with the meat and potatoes of this video, let's dig into the exteriors. Obviously they are quite a bit different from each other, with the BMW looking pretty aggressive for this kind of vehicle. It has two large kidney grills dominating the front, while the new S-Class has a still large grille but with a less in-your-face look. Both of them also have beautiful and advanced LED lighting. Now heading to the sides, this is where you really start to get a sense of just how large and imposing these two are. They are nearly 210 inches long, which is the length of a Chevy Tahoe for reference. But as far as the wheels, they are quite different. The base 19-inch silver alloys look very subdued compared to the massive and nearly $6,000 21-inch contrast alloys on the BMW. And then finishing off the designs in the back, both simply ooze sophistication, with designs that are both simple yet elegant. Now heading on to some of the other features, both of them have heated power folding auto-dimming mirrors with blind spot monitoring. And both of them also come standard with the full gauntlet of safety systems, including automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and auto high beam headlights. An extra cool touch the Mercedes has actually allows the air suspension to raise on the sides if it senses a T-bone collision, which puts most of the collision forces into the frame. Finally, when it comes to warranties, both have 4-year 50,000 mile basic and powertrain warranties, but only the BMW comes with 3 years of complimentary maintenance. We're just getting warmed up here, so now let's go ahead and check out the uber luxury cabins before we take them out for a spin. So walking up to the vehicles, both of course have smart entry with nice key fobs. Now the new Mercedes does come with pop-out door handles, which deploy automatically as you walk up to the vehicle. But anyway, once we actually reach the interiors, they both have a lot of wow factor. Inside the S-Class, we have beautiful quilted Nappa leather seats, finished in black and accented with gloss walnut trim. The 7 Series also has black Nappa leather seats and a high gloss wood trim. And speaking of the seats, they are extremely adjustable, with heating, cooling, and even massage. One extra bougie feature of the BMW is the fact that it has leather floor mats. Once inside, we can talk about the cabin materials as a whole. Now, even though the BMW has the more traditional design and the Mercedes stands out more, the materials are very similar. Both have leather all over the upper dash and door trims, tons of real wood that runs through the middle areas, and then more leather and soft plastics on the lower surfaces. So after starting them up, we can turn our attention to the gauges and other stuff in this area. Both of them are using 12.3-inch high-resolution gauge clusters, but it is worth noting that the S-Classes has a lot more design choices. However, the BMW fights back by having a large head-up display, which this Mercedes doesn't have. And coming back to the steering wheels, both are nicely finished, heated, and power adjusting. Okay, so next up, let's dig into the major area of interior storage. At both the center console and the other storage bins, the Mercedes clearly delivers more. It even has storage behind the screens, and there is a reason for that. The use of the column electronic shifter saves space, and when in reverse, both of them have 360-degree camera systems with very cool 3D views. As far as climate controls, the BMW has standard 4-zone automatic ones, while the Mercedes has dual zone. Now let's go ahead and check out the audio systems. Both sound great, but I'll have to give the edge to the Mercedes Burmester sound system. And as we come to the infotainment systems, they look very dissimilar, but they're actually a lot more similar in the feature set. Despite the different orientations, the screens are within 5% of each other at 12.3 and 12.8 inches. That being said, the S-Class is using the newest OLED technology that allows it to have a crisper look with darker blacks. Otherwise, they both have built-in navigation and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Finally, the last things to mention up front are the auto-dimming mirrors and the large dual-panel sunroofs. Alright, but now let's move on to the rear areas, which are also very important since a lot of executives like to be in the back and have someone else drive them around. Both of these two are only sold in long wheelbase form in the US, so they have absolutely prodigious rear legroom and headroom measures. In this regard, they are also within 5% of each other. Now these two can be fully kitted out to basically be limos if you have the right equipment, but the ones we have today are more modest. That's not to say there aren't still more than enough features to keep you comfortable, with things like rear vents, plugs, and power sunshades. The Mercedes also has power side window shades as well. As I mentioned in the front, the rear doesn't have its own climate zones or controls in the S-Class, but both of them have heated rear seats. Our S-Class furthermore has ventilated rear seats and power recline. Interestingly, the trunks are not nearly as cavernous as the back seats, but the 750i does give you quite a bit more space. Both have foot-activated power trunks. Alrighty, that's it for the interiors, so now let's take this tight race out on the road to see who will come out on top. Under the hoods and out on the road, the differences are just as stark as everywhere else. The biggest aspect is the fact that the BMW, costing so much less, allows it to also have the upgraded V8 engine, while our S-Class has the standard 6-cylinder. Because of that, even though both are fast, the 750i really blows your mind with over 500 horsepower and a sub 4 second 0 to 60.
Wow. We weren't even really pushing it down at all, no.
That's just a quick sample of the acceleration in this thing. Effortless speed is really what this feels like.
Yeah.
Just so quick.
Holy crap. That was 70 miles an hour. Wow. Oh my goodness. This thing is so fast.
Yeah, and the coolest thing about it is just how manageable it is. You know, you might drive a 500 horsepower sports car, right? and it feels fast and quick all the time. This here is so controlled that you can just drive so smoothly and normally in the flow of traffic like that, but then, you know, put your foot down and this thing comes alive.
Wow.
Dang.
That's fast.
That really is fast.
What the?
Yeah, so this is the base engine, which you may think base engine, you know, it's not even a V8, but it certainly puts plenty of power. So what this actually is a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder with Mercedes EQ Boost mild hybrid system. Of course, what the EQ Boost does, as with in other Mercedes applications, is it does boost the power. It also helps power a really advanced auto start stop, which we'll show you guys in just a second, as well as some of the electronics and stuff inside of the vehicle. And altogether, this is making 429 horsepower. And 0 to 60 is still 4.8 seconds with this model.
That's so
from this
fast.
Gigantic S-Class.
Wow.
So it really does move. Now, as far as driving dynamics, it's probably not the most important thing, but I do want to point out that the BMW puts a lot more emphasis on the steering and handling. That being said, the plushness of the S-Class is impossible to beat, and it might just be the benchmark of the entire auto industry. It's just that good.
But before we, accelerate again here, I want to talk about the ride quality for the S-Class. I don't want to leave you guys waiting on this part of the video because I know that's what you're here for. The S-Class, I don't know how they do it, man. I really don't. I have to give Mercedes engineers a round of applause every time I get in an S-Class because this is literally some of the best ride quality you can get. I think this might be the best riding vehicle I've ever ridden in, period. And I can't say I'd noticed the difference between this one and the old S-Class, but it absolutely is phenomenal. You have the air suspension. There's so many different elements just making your experience so great.
Adaptive dampers as well. It all just works together so seamlessly. The S500 is also a mild hybrid, which helps it have incredibly smooth auto start stop that can shut off before the vehicle even comes to a stop. Really just leaves you saying, what bump? You see it, but you just don't feel it. It's really incredible. And speaking of things that are incredible, pay attention to the tachometer as we come to a stop here at this red light. So one of the things you probably noticed is the fact that the engine shuts off before you even come to a stop. That's one of the features with the EQ Boost. And the auto start stop on this is just superb. So we're gonna move up here and we'll see this engine restart. And notice I said see the engine restart. You have to look right at this tachometer to know what's going on. It's absolutely imperceptible. It's so easy for me to say that this is the best auto start stop that money can buy. Mercedes just does it better than everyone else, period. I mean, this is actually auto start stop. There's no reason you would ever turn it off because you cannot know that it's operating. But as pinnacle luxury vehicles, they also need to be quiet, and they both deliver incredibly low decibel readings at highway speed.
We're sitting at 51.4 decibels. Wow. Very, very solid reading.
Up to 55 here and get this sound level reading.
$50.4. 50.4.
It's really windy outside too. That's the only thing I can hear is a little bit of the wind. I mean, it's like a library in here. It's crazy.
I have to admit, I just want to take a nap, and it's not because this vehicle is boring, but it's so quiet in here and so comfortable. The seat is amazing. I literally just am in nap mode right now.
Finally, as far as fuel economy, the smaller displacement engine and mild hybrid helps the Mercedes achieve 20% better fuel economy. So there you have it. These two heavyweight powerhouse luxury sedans battled it out extensively. Just like most luxury vehicles, they really are an extension of your personality. So let us know which combination you would go for in the comments below. Anyway, thanks for joining us for another Car Confections comparison. And be sure to subscribe for more comparisons and our signature full review videos. We appreciate your support, and we will see you next time.